Hi guys! This is my first video in my Selective Mutism series, and I thought that to kick it off, I would start by sharing my story with you guys. This is obviously not an easy thing to do, and hopefully in watching this video, you or someone you know with Selective Mutism can relate and not feel so alone. So, I was diagnosed with Selective Mutism when I was 14 years old. But I believe that I've had selective mutism for a long time before that. Ever since I was very little, I've been very shy and quiet, and I always preferred to play by myself. But it wasn't until the 7th grade that I started finding that it was a struggle to speak, and it was hard to get the words out. But I feel like in the 7th and 8th grade, and even the 9th grade, it was pretty easy for me to hide it and just push through it, even though it was something I struggled with on a daily basis. For elementary and middle school, I was in a school with 200 to 250 kids. It was very, very small, and everybody knew everyone, and we were all friends. It wasn't until I got to high school, where there were 1,200 kids, that things really started to go downhill with my selective mutism. I think that in middle school, I hit it really, really well. I was in various public speaking competitions, I was in the leadership committee at school, and believe it or not, I was actually valedictorian for my middle school graduating class. And through all this, I had this difficulty expressing myself and this problem where I have to push through severe anxiety just to speak on a daily basis. I started feeling like what I was once able to hide, I couldn't hide anymore, and it got harder and harder for me to speak. And in the 10th grade, it got to the point where I couldn't speak at all at school. I can remember the first day of grade 11 when I knew things were going to be bad this year. I can remember going into a class and sitting down and the teacher announcing that we were going to have to introduce ourselves in front of the whole class. And I remember just sitting there terrified, absolutely terrified. And I had a panic attack in the class. I was shaking, I couldn't breathe. I just ran out and ran to the bathroom. And eventually the guidance counselor at school found me, and I had to leave the school that day because it was just too much. I knew that from that moment on, grade 11 was going to be torture, and I wouldn't be able to hide it anymore. People with selective mutism have a wide variety of rules that they subconsciously must follow on a daily basis. These are not rules that I choose to follow. They're more like rules that are decided inside and that have been governing my life ever since this disorder has started. I thought that I would share some of my rules with you guys, and obviously everybody's rules vary, but hopefully this can provide you with an example of rules so that you can apply them to yourself or someone you know with selective mutism and understand better what is happening inside. For me, I guess my rules mainly revolve around school. I have a fear of speaking in school because I don't want people to react and ultimately don't want to feel embarrassed because of their reaction. And this rule follows me wherever I go. I can't speak anywhere in my city because I'm afraid that someone who has connections to my school, such as a classmate or teacher, will be in public and hear me. Not only am I afraid of just my classmates and my teachers hearing me, but I'm afraid of anyone hearing me in case they have a connection to my school and then tell one of my classmates or teachers that I'm speaking. At school this year, I have only spoken to 2 people as a result. I have spoken to a guidance counselor and one of my teachers. And in those situations where I speak, it has to be very, very organized and very precise, or I won't be able to speak at all. When I speak to them, I must be alone with them in a room, and no one else can be around. The door has to be shut, and the window has to be blocked in case someone goes by and sees me. But I've been slowly trying to break this rule as the year progressed, in that I started pushing myself to try to speak inside the classroom with other students there. Finally, in April 2015, I spoke in my classroom for the first time this year. And it was a very controlled setting where we were reading a book and I volunteered to read out loud to the class. It got to the point where I was just so fed up and frustrated with myself that I just had to do it, and I just pushed through it and did it. I think that that's one of the main things that people with selective mutism need in order to get better. They need a controlled setting, and they need people who are going to push them, but not to the point where they're going to regress and where there's going to be more harm than progress. Here I am right now, pushing myself extremely hard, trying to overcome this disorder. I'm still mute at school on most days, but I'm starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm starting to see that there is hope for me to get better someday. Through this whole experience, I've always believed that I developed selective mutism for a reason. I believed that it was some sort of gift for me to develop it, because I feel like I was brought on this earth to help other people with this disorder. And I want to do anything in my power to help people with selective mutism. I plan on pursuing a career in psychology so that I can open a clinic in my area specializing in this disorder. I have many friends that I'm reaching out to on social media with selective mutism, and we share our successes and our failures, and overall we just support each other. I also have a blog that I've been working on throughout this experience that has really helped me express myself and realize my goal of inspiring and helping other people and showing them that there is hope out there. And obviously I'm making this video series again to help people with selective mutism. I believe that it's my calling and it's what I have to do with my life. So that's my selective mutism story. I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.